Welcome to The Secret Truth. I'm George Butler. We're live at the Operation Classified in Grapevine, Texas. We're at the Hilton Hotel. And to my left is Stewart Rhodes. Welcome to our program, Stewart.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'll tell you what victory have you attained just recently? I know you were in Ferguson and you were at the Bundy Ranch. And tell me about what's going on in the last few years here or so.
Okay, well, we've been pretty active with a lot of disaster relief. We were in 5 hurricanes now, 3 last year, 2 this year so far. We just got done doing hurricane relief for Hurricane Michael in Florida. And folks, of course, last year we went up against Antifa in multiple cities across the United States, including twice in Berkeley, California, protecting free speech events, and also in Boston and Portland, Oregon as well. Making sure they couldn't shut down free speech.
Have they classified Antifa as a terrorist organization?
That's a good question. I think they're U.S. government personnel have referred to them as a terrorist organization, but I'm not sure if they've been officially classified that way or not. But they certainly should be.
Yeah, I mean, their philosophy or their ideas are really twisted in a way, are they not?
Well, what's happening, and Ashton was talking about this yesterday when I was talking to her, is you have a lot of these young kids, and starting in junior high or high school and even junior high, who have been indoctrinated in the far left, and they cultivate them and turn them into these radicals who think that anyone who is, pretty much anybody who's not a communist is a Nazi. And so they're convinced that all of us are Nazis and we're all racist and oppressive. And so that's what they're being conditioned to believe. And I kind of feel sorry for them, frankly.
We had a conversation a while back about Trotskyites in our government. I don't know if you recall that. It was at the the Tampa Dome, I think it was, in Tampa, Florida.
Right.
Remember, we were sitting there, and over on our left was the Los Angeles Times and all these people, and you and I started talking about Trotskyites and the government, this and that, and the people were looking, all these reporters, and they were press, in the press, writers, and they started looking over at us gingerly, But we had a good time that day. What do you think?
Well, yeah, and that's the truth, is that I went to college and then law school, at Yale Law School, and yes, they're dyed-in-the-wool Marxists. That's the ideology that a lot of these, especially the professors, a lot of them adhere to, and so it hasn't gone away. People think when the wall fell in Germany that communism died. Well, it didn't. It just took refuge in American universities, and they still try to indoctrinate the youth in this country to hate their own country and hate the West and to hate themselves. So it's still an ongoing
they've been
process.
using like liberation theology within the Catholic Church, I know, for years. Right. Professor Gutierrez, the founder of liberation theology, I believe is the professor at Notre Dame today.
Right. Well, they also, of course, identity politics, race identity politics, and gender identity politics, and gender choice identity politics. Now it's just absurd. But their whole goal is to divide and conquer, and be part of the destruction of the United States, and it goes across both parties. You have that same mindset and a globalist mindset in both parties as well.
You show a restraint too within your group of Oath Keepers, and you haven't had any major problems or incidents, have you?
No, I mean, knock on wood. When we're doing disaster relief, we go up against looters. When we're doing protective details against death threats, like last year we worked for did a volunteer protection for the anti-Sharia marches by Act for America all across the country as well. And we have not yet had to use any force or lethal force on anybody. And so it's good. We deter with our presence and our professionalism. And so hopefully that'll keep on going. But we're prepared in case it doesn't. If we have to, we'll have to.
Well, that's one statistic I think that's overlooked, the NRA, and it's hard to get statistics on people that have banished a weapon and otherwise run away trouble. That might have happened by brandishing or something.
We've never had to brandish a weapon, though. Just our men being present and alert.
In other words, you've got them holstered and everything,
yep.
And just being there, knowing, and they know that you have some force there that they're going to have to deal with, and that's enough to stop some of the shenanigans and stuff.
Yeah, even one of the advantages we have is we have retired police officers, so even in Berkeley, our police officers were carrying concealed, even in the park in Berkeley, California.
Okay.
They have a right under LEOSA, the ability to carry nationwide. And so, the bad guys know that our retired cops are carrying, and they know that our military SF veterans, and we have Ranger veterans, Special Forces veterans, and lots of infantry, Marine Corps and Army infantry. And so these are professional, trained men that don't spook easy, and they're prepared to do it if they have to. And the bad guys tend to go the other direction, whether they're gangbangers or looters or radical Antifa. Yeah.
How are you? Do you have any plans for the future, the near future, or any type of actions? Or
yes, we are going to be on the border. We are now talking to several ranch owners in multiple states on the border, and with their permission, once we get the invite, we'll be posting up to protect their ranches against the cartels. And the reason to do that is it's important for us to do our part and show our support for President Trump. I encourage him to put the full force of the U.S. military on the border, not just in a support role, but as they used to be, to patrol the border and secure it with the U.S. military. That's what I think he should do. But I also think he should call us up as the militia, and we're ready to do that. But meanwhile, we'll go on to private ranches where we're invited and help protect them against the cartels.
As far as a mission statement goes, in reaching out to recruit new members in your Oath Keepers organizations, you have those throughout the country. Is that right?
Yeah, we're in every state. We have chapters in every state.
You're in every state. Okay. Yep. What is the greatest appeal that you make to future members or prospective members?
That we need help. Many hands make light work, and we need both those who are retired or former military, police, and first responders, but also even people that are not. They can come in as an associate member, and we'll put them to work, and we'll train them. Our goal is to see as many Americans as possible get trained and cross-trained and organized in their communities. I talked about that here at the Operation Classified event about restoring our republic from the bottom up, focused on neighborhood watches and strengthening our local communities. But the best thing you can do is dive in. Join your local volunteer fire department, local search and rescue, EMT, police auxiliary, volunteers and police service, any of those things. But ground zero, I would say, is start a neighborhood watch. You have to have that. Because if you don't have the stability and security in your neighborhood, when times get tough, whether it's a natural disaster or man-made disaster, look at what's going on with Tucker Carlson's house, right, with Antifa. So if you don't have that stability in your neighborhood, then no one's going to be able to go out and do their job. No cop, no firefighter, anybody else.
Well, that's true, because there's sniping going on at some of those firefighters at times during some of these incidents. Is that right?
So if you don't have security, you can't do anything else. It shuts down all your ability to do anything else. So we really strongly advocate that people focus on their local communities and build that local security. Yeah.
I think you've been well received by most police forces and firefighters, have you not?
On the ground, yes. Sometimes we run into some bureaucracy problems.
Oh, bureaucracy.
Right.
What kind of problems have you run into on that?
Well, for example, in Ferguson, you had a politically appointed sheriff there who was trying to order us off the rooftops, which we did not, refused his orders. And we fought back with our own attorneys, and eventually he left us alone, because we were there on the rooftops at the invitation of the business owners and protecting private property. So things like that. Those are some examples. But for the most part, we've had very good relationships on the ground. In Florida, we wound up guarding two towns, in fact, in the wake of Hurricane Michael, in Malone, Florida, and Bascom, Florida, at the invitation of the mayors of the town, because they didn't have police forces. Now, they relied only on the county sheriff, but they were overwhelmed after the storm. And so the mayors of both those towns asked us to come in and help.
Oh, man. Now, I'll tell you what, Stewart, that's where I admire and respect what your work is. And you've basically dedicated the rest of your life to this, have you not?
Pretty much. This is my mission, yeah.
And your education, you're not only educated, but weren't you a paratrooper at one time?
I was an Army paratrooper, and then I also worked for Congressman Ron Paul in his D.C. office.
Right.
And I was a volunteer firefighter in Montana.
That's right. I forgot. You did work with Ron Paul on his staff and worked in D.C. Yeah. I forgot about that. And, of course, we met you through the Ron Paul, campaign.
Right.
Yeah, we met you gradually and got to know you and like you and everything. But what kind of advice then would you give to after the change of this election, to the American public at large? What kind of advice would you give them now?
Don't rest. It's not, this is the problem we've seen since Trump was elected. Some people have gotten complacent. Oh, we won. Trump's in office, as though that's going to fix everything. They need to understand this is a long-term fight. That was only a battle, not the war. And to encourage the president to go all the way. He needs to be indicting the people that are involved.
Yeah, these sealed indictments. There's a lady here that spoke about that yesterday, I think.
So they need to come out with more indictments and actually prosecute these people. And then, like I said, the president should secure the border using military force. I think it's within his power to do so as commander-in-chief. Okay, well, thank you very much for this interview, and we certainly applaud all the success that you've had with your Oath Keepers. Well, thank you, sir. Okay. God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you too.